Hello friends, I hope you guys are doing well. Yes, so in today's video I'm gonna share with you how I will be using the leaves in front of us to make leaf compost or mulch, and also I'll be going around the garden and cut down some plants and just do some fall cleanup. Right, it's November and now is the perfect time to clean up the garden. So if you have a lot of leaves in your yard, as probably a lot of us do, just don't heap it up for the truck to come and clean it up. So some of these leaves, like for example over here by the roadside, I'm gonna put them to the side of the road. The truck's supposed to come tomorrow and it will suck up all the leaves and all of that, but the leaves over here and the yard itself, I'm gonna save them. Yeah, so I'll show that to you, but I'm gonna try to put them in heaps and then I'll explain to you how I'm gonna save these for next year. Yes, so here we are, show you what it looks like. And then over here too, look what the wind did, friends. I'm telling you, it's just, nature is just amazing, right? So anyway, so let me continue this and get all these leaves in piles, and then I'll share with you what I'm gonna do with them. All right friends, welcome to the back of the yard. Friends, the garden is still looking good, right? Obviously you could see it's fall. I'm in zone 6B 7A, and look at these cornflower. Just look at them, friends. I just can't believe it. And then look at the red salvia. Oh my goodness, it's just keep blooming, right? But anyway, so I'm gonna go in here and just go around the garden behind here and do some cleanup. And friends, not every plant you have to cut back, okay? Don't forget you need some winter interest in your garden. So I'm gonna cut back this peony behind here. You could see how it has powdery mildew, and I do this every year. I cut it right down to the ground and I leave my rings up, so when spring comes and the plant is coming back up from the ground, it just go right up in the rings, and I don't have to fight with these rings because they could be a little bit annoying to get them back in the ground. So one year I tried to take them inside, and when spring arrived, friends, it was a pain to get these rings back because they collapsed and it just a hot mess. So what I started doing was to leave these rings in the garden as is, and guess what, one less headache for me to have in the garden. They worked amazingly, and I got them from Lowe's Garden Center. Anyway, so I'm gonna step back behind here and clean up the peony, and then just go around and see what other plants need to be cut back. Most of my plants, I don't cut back most of my plants. I just leave them as is for winter interest, and then in fall, after spring arrives and it starts to warm up, then for example, like this is the blushing bright hydrangea. Do you see the fallen leaves on the ground? I leave them alone because I said to you before, pollinators use them as different ways to survive in the winter. For example, they use them as insulation, like a blanket to hide under. They probably even use them to lay their eggs in the ground where they're covering to protect them from different insects and all of that. And then when spring comes and I know the pollinators are awakened, they gone by their business, then I will clean up the garden. Anyway, so I just digressed as I always do, right? Anyways, let's get some of this looking somewhat more tidy, right? Alrighty friends, and look at this. This is what I do to my lilies. I just leave them alone. Do you see that? All I do is this and they come right out. So if you have your lily in the ground like this and you realize when you pull on it, it's not coming out, just leave it alone. Let the entire stalk just completely dry back to the ground. Let me see this one. Or for example, perfect example, do you see this one here? I'm trying to pull on it and it won't come. So what I can do here, I could just go in with this because you can see the entire foliage is dead, and I could just go right down here to the root and just snip it off. And just be careful when it's snipping it off, because in the past, friends, I've tried doing that before and then I realized I would pull the entire bulb out of the ground. So just be gentle with it. And these are my peony foliage. And there you go, another lily came out with no problem whatsoever. I should have some more lilies over here. Yep, here we are. And let's see. There you go. I love when that happens, when it comes out like that. Look at that, friends. Amazing. Yep. And I should have more over here. And I should have more lilies on this end too. Here we are. So you do not, once again, friends, even though this look dead, you do not want to pull on this. I'm telling you. Went to me before I did that and the entire bulb came out of the ground. So just take your snippers and just cut right there to the base of it. That's it. As simple as that. Alright. I should have more lilies in here. They're probably already fallen off. Let's see. Here's some over here. There we are. And friends, once again with these echinaceas, I told you guys before, I don't cut them back. Not all of them, probably a little I do, just to make clear the space, but I was like 90% off, so I leave them up for the pollinators in the winter because they offer great winter source food for the goldfinches. Yes, they love eating at the cone head. So I know it looks messy, right? But this is just part of the whole nature and the ecosystem with the plants and the insects and the animals and all of that, right? Flora and fauna, I call it. So that's why I just leave it up for them. If you want to cut your back, you can do so, but I strongly encourage you to leave some up for the goldfinches and the birds. They will appreciate your help in the winter season. And then over here, this is a balloon flower. Naturally, I don't even cut it back. I just leave it here. Oh, friends, here we are. There's more lilies in here. They're right behind here. So let me go in and clip them off also. And also behind here too, friends, we have more in the back here. Do you see them? Yeah, so these ones, we're going to do the same thing with them. And I have a lot of hydrangeas in the garden. And I know with some hydrangeas, you cut them back in the fall and some you do not. With me, with my hydrangeas, if you don't know, guess what? You leave it alone, right? With the hydrangeas I have, friends, I think they bloom on old wood. So I don't cut them back. What I do in spring, I just trim it up and just clean it off. So if you're not sure if your hydrangeas bloom on new wood or old wood, leave them alone, okay? And then when spring comes, you will be looking at the stalk of the hydrangea. Any of those little eyes on there, then you know it blooms on old wood. Let me see if I could find an example for you. This guy is actually old wood. Let's see here. All right, perfect. Do you see these things here? All right, let me see. Do you see these little, I don't know what you call them, like little nodes right here? This is how you know your hydrangea blooms on old wood. So if you come in here, for example, right, and you just cut this down, guess what? You're cutting down all this growth that it will be happening in spring. So that's my point to you. If you're not sure, leave it alone and then look at it in spring, and you'll see if it looks like the stem is dead, then you know, okay, it's probably new wood. It blooms on new wood. But if you see that it looks like the stem has these little nodes there, then you know it blooms on the old plant, the old wood. So look down all the way down here and you could see all of that I'm telling you about. Let me see. Do you see all this? See all these things going down here? Yep, that's how you know. I have more over here, right there. See all that? That's how I know it blooms on old wood. So I would not cut back my hydrangeas. And I think it's probably all of them in here, because I did this test in spring of this year and I noticed that. And what I do, I just come in and just cut off any dead looking branches, because you can tell when the branches are dead, right? And just trim around the plant like that. And that's what I did in spring. But once again, if you're not sure, because I feel like that's something out there that as gardeners, a lot of us, we don't know if hydrangeas are new or old wood. That's how I experiment with my hydrangea, and I know if I should cut it back or not. Anyways, I just wanted to share that with you because I do have a lot of hydrangeas throughout the garden. All right, friends, then on to my planters. Oh my goodness, look at my coleus. Oh my goodness, I already saved a lot of seeds from these coleus. So I'm gonna come in here and pull these out. If you want, you can propagate them. I have few videos I did in the past how you can propagate coleus. Just simply take some clippings and just put them in water, change the water every couple of days, and then you'll see new roots coming from the plants. If I had to propagate this, I probably would cut it right here, and you'll see new roots coming from the plants. It's really easy. There's not much behind propagating coleus. So some of them I did propagate, but a lot of them I harvested the seeds. It's just easier, friends, because I know when winter comes, inside of my house is going to look like a greenhouse, because I'll be doing a lot of seeds very soon, right? Anyway, so I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna empty these pots, and I have my wheelbarrow set up here, friends. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna reuse this soil and put it back in the pot, and then I'm gonna plant my bulbs in there. Yes, I'll be doing some bulbs very soon, and these bulbs I'm reusing from last year. So, and I have some new ones I purchased too. So don't get rid of your soil, reuse it. If you want to plant bulbs in pots, go ahead and reuse your soil from your planters. Anyway, so let's go ahead and clean up all these pots here. All right, friends, so I got the lilies out, the peonies, and just any loose leaf or any debris in between it. Look at this bag. I don't even know where it came from. Anyway, and I got this bucket filled with all the dead foliage from the container. So I'm gonna go and get these in the garbage and blow off the patio. And friends, it was so hard for me to pull these out. I'm telling you, I don't know, I'm just gonna leave them alone. I don't know, what do you think? Should I just pull them out or just let it be? They're red salvia, they're annuals, they're not gonna come back. But just the thought of it being alive and blooming like this, I just don't want to bring it to an end. And here we have another one too. And here's a seedling up here, friend. Look at this. It just did that on its own here. So that's how I'm feeling about this. Let me know, should I just pull them out or just leave them in the frost, hit them and just kill them? Let me know. And then over here I have all my containers. And then friend, look at this. I think this is a larkspur seed. Yep, it did that on its own. So I have my containers already emptied. And over here, friends, look at this amount of soil I got from these containers. Yes, so as I said, I'm gonna go sort this out and get my bulbs, see what bulbs I'm gonna plant in these, and then put them, I think I'm gonna put them in my garage. But I'll do this in another video, I think, and share that with you. But anyway, so let me get the patio up and I'll go and show you what I'm going to do with the leaf mulch. All right, friends, I'm done cleaning up the back here. You can see my mess on the ground. And I potted up the bulbs using the soil I told you I reused from the containers. And here they are over here. I'm not sure which video I'll post first. This one, because I did record what I was doing over here, or just the leaf mulching and fall cleanup. Anyway, so I'm just going to blow off the back here. All right, friends, the first thing I'm going to do with my mulch is insulate the base of my plant. So this is a beautiful rose plant I have here. Friends, look at this. It's trying to bloom. Oh my goodness. I can't believe it. So right here next to me, I have a ton of leaves here. I'm gonna take some and just insulate around the base of the plant. And then on this side, friends, I have these beautiful shrubs. I have one here and then one over here. And they're gonna stay out over the winter in pots like this. And you can see the squirrels were digging here. So I'm gonna come in here and just put some mulch around the base of both shrubs. Alrighty friends, and the biggest part of this with the leaf mulching I'm going to do, I'm going to bag up a ton of these leaves in these black garbage bags, and then I'm going to save it to use it in spring. Yes, so I want to do more veggies, and I'm going to look into getting some raised bed. So I figured the leaf mulch will be a good compost for me, help, so I don't have to purchase that much soil to fill up those raised planters, the taller ones. And I'm using the taller ones because I'm trying to deter the squirrels and rodents from digging in when you plant your veggies, right? If you get those that the ground level, you have to put a fence or something around it because the rodents always find a way in. So that's why I'm trying to do the taller ones, so that way the squirrels, yes, the squirrels can climb, but I've seen where if they have to do climbing on your raised planters, they really don't do that. They just leave them alone. Anyway, so I'm gonna fill these bags with the leaf, and then we're gonna make compost from this, friends. So how it works is that whenever you pick the leaves, you have to make sure the leaves are dry. We've been having a drought here in PA, so these leaves are dry. They're not mildew from rain or cold moisture or anything like that. So always, one, for it to be effective, make sure the leaves are dry. And then I'm gonna fill the bag, and then I'm gonna get compost. It's gonna break down on its own over a while. I'm not gonna get fungus, so it will be leaf mold, but a good mold which gives you compost, not fungus, if that makes sense. And then I'm gonna just tie them up, poke little holes in them, and just tie them up and just store them away from the rain, the snow, and all of that. And then I'll have them for next spring, where I can use in my raised planters, as I shared with you before. So that's the reason for these leaves. They add really good nutrients to your soil, friends. Very, very good nutrients to your soil. And if you have any spot in your garden where you have just the dirt, just put some leaves there. They will break down over the winter period. They really do. And I just really enjoy using the leaves around this time, right? It's free, so why not use it? Anyway, so let me fill as much bags as I can, and then I'm gonna put the rest to the side of the road. As I told you, the truck's supposed to come tomorrow, the street sweeper, not sure if that's the right name for it, and it comes and it takes all the fallen leaves off the side of the road. But obviously it have to be at the side in the road, right? Otherwise you're on your own. So let me get this done. Just come on over here with me, let me show you this. So over here is this rose that I transplanted in fall, and as you can see, there's no mulch around there really, because I had to move the mulch to dig it out and transplant a new rose over here. So what I'm gonna do is just put some of the leaves here. Yes, so if you have a garden bed that you do not have mulch in it, you just have it like the bare ground, go ahead and just put some leaves there. And then in spring, if you want to mulch it, you can mulch it with the wood chip mulch that you buy at the garden center, or if you want, you could just mulch it with leaves. That's up to you. So I like to add some regular wood chip mulch here just to make the space look fresh in spring, but I leave the leaves here and they will break down, and then I put the mulch, the wood mulch, on top. So that's all we're gonna do here. I'm just gonna remove any debris from here, clean up the base of the rose plant, and then I'm just gonna spread the leaf around. That's it. Or if you're planting shrubs now and you don't have mulch, or you don't want to pay $5 a bag for mulch, I know the mulch are expensive now, they're no longer on sale. I have 2 bags remaining for a different project. You just take some of the leaves, friends, and just put it around the base of your plant. It helps to insulate it over the winter period, and that's it. You don't have to go out and buy mulch. So that's what I'm doing here. And this will break down, and then come spring I'll add some fresh mulch on top. Alright friends, another way to use your mulch in the garden is if you're still planting your bulbs, or if you already planted your bulbs, like this entire area, friends. I did not do this, the wind did this, and these leaves, they don't even belong to the tree I have here. The wind just blew it from wherever, and it ended up at my spot here. Anyway, so if you planted mulch, or you have mulch to plant, what you can do is take your leaves, if you have any, and just put it like that, like what the wind did here, and it really deters the squirrels from digging. It really does. And if you have twigs in your garden, or you have trees with twigs, just drop them in your garden like that. Remember, the more preventative methods you have to prevent the squirrels from digging the bulbs you planted, the more successful you will at having a beautiful spring garden. Blooms looking at you, right? So yeah, so if you do, just go ahead and sprinkle some in here. I may just remove some of these from the arborvitae bowling ball, but I'm gonna leave most of these leaves here, and it's be a good insulation for the plants and also the bulbs I have underneath there. Another way you can use your leaves in the garden, friends, they do sell the machine that actually cuts up the leaves for you and it makes it much smaller, but I don't have that, so I'm just gonna do what I have. I'm just gonna use what I have here. Or you can take your lawnmower, for example, you see some leaves over here, you can take your lawnmower and you could use it to cut up the leaves if you want to, but just be careful that it doesn't get stuck in your blades of your lawnmower. Depends on what lawnmower you have, but that's another way you can do it. Or if you just want to add some leaf nutrients to your grass, you can do that. But just a word of advice for you: if you leave your grass covered in leaves over the winter, the leaves are gonna suffocate the grass. So I'm not saying you shouldn't do it, you should do it. That's totally up to you. I've tested it before where I left leaves at a certain part just to test it, and then when spring was here, the entire grass plot was yellow, balded looking because the leaves covered the grass. It somewhat suffocated the grass because the grass is a living, it's living, right? So it somewhat suffocated the grass. So just be careful if you do that, or if you want to just use a lawnmower to cut up like loose leaves like that, that will add nutrients back in the grass. But just do your research first, just to make sure that you're not destroying your grass and you're helping it. All right, you know, sometimes too much of one thing is not good for us, right? So just a word of advice there for you. Depends on what you do with your leaves and your grass. Alrighty, friends, so I was able to I just did 2 bags. I'm telling you, that's a lot in there. I pushed on it and it's a lot in there. Yeah, so I have 2 bags for my spring project. And what I did here, as I shared with you before, I'm just leaving most of the leaves in here because I have a lot of bulbs planted here, and it's just good nutrients for the soil. And as I told you guys before about the pollinators, they like to hide underneath the fallen leaves and all the good stuff. So this is my pollinator garden bed, friends, and what I did, guess what, the leaves are in here, right? I did not remove any from in here, just to help out the pollinators over the winter. So I raked the rest of the leaves off the grass. I left some, as you can see, and I have it in piles at the side of the road because the truck will be coming tomorrow. So it will just vacuum all of this, friends. Yes, I have a lot of it. It will just vacuum up all of the leaves. Yes, it's just leaves everywhere. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, and let me know, leave a tip down below for me. What do you do with your leaves, if you have any, or is there any special thing you do when you your fall cleanup? I hope you enjoyed this video, friends. Thank you so much for being here. It was a lot of fun doing this and get the leaves all cleaned up. I hope you guys are doing well. Let me know down below, what do you do with your leaves? Yes. All right, friends, thank you again. See you in the next one. Cheers.